This is the Recovery Lab.
Here we dive deep into the struggles, victories, and hope that stem from recovery.
No shame, no judgment, just truth, grace, and inspiration.
Let's walk this road together.
Hey guys, welcome to Recovery Lab. This is episode 125, and my name is Brynn Knox.
Hey, I'm David Sugg.
Daniel Anderson.
We are at Recovery Lab. We're here this week with Chris and Bob Spradley. Super excited to have you. We had your son in yesterday, a couple days ago. It was yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Man, we've been working in the Recovery Lab. We really have. But he mentioned y'all were in town visiting, and we were like, this would be really cool if we could get the parental units in here to get their side, because y'all came up a good bit in his story. Y'all been extremely supportive through every stage of his recovery, both in the institution, both in the penitentiary, and then outside. He was just like, he just couldn't stop talking about how much y'all had really, really helped him. And that's not always the story. So we were like, wow, with y'all being in town, it'd be really, really cool to get y'all in here and get your side of it and get your experience, strength, and hope. And y'all have got your own unique story, that's not his story, but your story going through the same narrative. And so it'd be really interesting to kind of get that, what it was like and what y'all are looking forward to in the future. But y'all are in town right now visiting Nick, seeing him at his new job. I see you got the Go Be Love shirts
We
on.
do.
You went to Shower
We
Power.
do.
Yeah. How was that?
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Your son's doing it. He's got a service position. He's got a love job. I mean, he's doing the hard work, probably one of the most intense things as far as a nonprofit goes in Jackson, Mississippi. He's got that position. Y'all got to see it today.
It's not really surprising to me. I mean, as a teeny tiny little boy, always helpful. A big heart, a really big heart. We used to joke and say he was going to be a used car salesman because, I mean, he could, just talk anybody into anything. But yeah, the biggest heart ever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's wonderful to hear, but it wasn't surprising to hear how everyone there loved him.
Yeah.
It's very good to hear, but it's not a surprise because he's such a good person.
Yeah, you can tell, right?
Mhm.
Yesterday was my first time meeting him in person, and just right off the bat, you get that, he has that spirit about him.
Yeah.
And so that's really cool, and I feel like that's something that you're born with,
Mhm.
and so I can see how that would be, prevalent as a kid.
Right.
When did you guys when did you notice a change in your son?
For me, it was after we had moved down here. After high school, I guess. Well, yeah, I guess even when he was married, I don't know. Something was wrong. Something was different.
When he stayed up there in St. Louis and had that little apartment we got.
Yeah. Yeah. But to me, that was just partying.
Yeah.
But here and being married, with Bob's history, I'd always talk to the boys about alcohol.
What did those conversations look like?
Well, you really got to watch it because it's a gene, it's inherited. And it isn't something that, there's a line that gets crossed and it's like a no return.
Yeah.
Until you get treatment. But so pills were not even on my radar. I couldn't even tell you what people were like on pills, But I knew something was wrong. Something's different. And as it progressed for me, people were telling me it's drugs. Chrissy's on drugs.
Oh, they were telling you.
Yeah, and I'm like, when I would say what he's doing, and like, I don't think so, And it might have been the mom in me just not wanting to admit it, but I wondered mental health issue. And I prayed, please, God, give me a sign. Because to me, someone with a mental health issue, if that's what he had, I needed to be there. And I needed to get him the best help I could. But if it's addiction, we needed to go a whole other route. And I got my answer whenever in April of that year that Bob went to his safe and the money was gone.
Mm.
I knew that. It's drugs.
What were you feeling when you found that out? Because he mentioned that the other day. It was a huge amount of money, and how did that make you feel? What was going on in your mind then?
It kind of devastated me because at that point I knew something was up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, something was off. Nick, you know, I'm not going to try to bash Nick at all, but for me, when I seen that, it wasn't really the money thing. You know, the money's one thing, but knowing about addiction, I thought, can I cuss? I might slip and say a cuss word.
Absolutely.
To me, I'm just thinking, oh shit, we lost him. You know, for him to do that to us,
yeah,
you know, to steal from us that like that, because our boys ain't like that, you know. But for him to do that and then take off with it and deny it and everything, I knew it had him bad because he's so friggin' smart. And he's so witty that I knew he was going to be a terror. You know, if he's to that point where he could do that to us,
yeah,
there's no limits to
Sky's
what
the
he'll
limit.
do. You know, and I knew it was going to be, and he's bullheaded too. So he's smart and he's bullheaded. So he ain't going to quit doing what he's doing until he's ready to quit doing what he's doing, kind of thing.
yeah.
You know, I didn't really know at the time you try to control stuff, you know, and we've learned that you can't control other people, but I wasn't there yet. You know, I'm just thinking all this crazy stuff, but it devastated me, and it wasn't the money part of it, but I'm thinking, what the hell? You know, this is going to be a big shit storm coming. You know, I don't know what exactly, I can't tell you exactly what it is, but it's coming, you know, and I didn't know what to do about it. And we just kind of it kind of made us go a little bit crazy where it affected us as a couple, you know.
Was one of you wanting to be more strict on something and the other one
It was back and forth where one of us had enough and the other one's, you know, well, you know, I'll do this, or, you know, she might help him out a little bit and not let me know. And when I'm drawing the line, or me, I might do something for him and she's ready to draw the line.
Yeah, as long as you have one enabler in the couple, that's all you need. You know?
Yeah. And you know, and a lot of this stuff I learned Nar-Anon is they are so manipulative.
Yes.
They're like masters at it. You know, they'll have you're thanking them, you're hugging their neck, and then 2 weeks later, it seems, well, wait a minute, you know, got me again.
Yeah.
When did you start going to Nar-Anon? Was that, had you been before this, or was this did Nick's stuff get y'all in there? Okay,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it ended up, he left our house in January. Bob didn't check the safe until April. And he was already down here. And then at the very end of August is when he called us from down here. He'd stolen the money and gotten caught and wanted to go to a rehab. So we came down and got him in up there. And from what Bob remembers, it had to do with Amanda's insurance, you know, as to where we got him into. But
so the whole selection process for you guys came down to like, okay, they take our insurance, and so this
His
is our
wife's.
option.
because wasn't under us anymore.
Right, right.
You know, he was older. So it was under his wife's.
Mm-hmm.
And from what I remember, he had to make the phone calls because of his age.
Yeah, a lot of
We couldn't be
places,
like, you know, mom and dad.
they say, like, why are you calling?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like waiting for them to get their bottom and they got to help themselves kind of thing. And it's like, we're his parents? No.
Yeah.
He needs to be calling us. Or,
I never heard of a treatment center care about who calls.
yeah. Well,
Let's get
yeah.
him in.
If,
Do you have insurance?
yeah.
Money?
If you got insurance, it's a go, but we
Yeah.
weren't in that you know, because he was an adult and he was married and
Yeah.
had insurance. And then his wife was great. I mean, she's right there with the
Amazing.
insurance and stuff, you know, trying to get him into a place and got him into a place. And but that was like when it was all getting really chaotic, like big time chaotic.
And so how did y'all find Nar-Anon? Was that did a
Looked it up.
friend? You looked it up just like y'all were
Looked
looking
it
for your
up
own
in the
solution.
book.
Okay.
Yeah,
When we got him in, we said, okay, we need something.
we were desperate.
Yeah, we need something.
Was somebody pointing y'all? Did you doing your own research? Because it's not real common for a parents of a troubled kid just be like, I think I'm going to call Nar-Anon. I mean, even us in the 12-step world.
We just Googling all kinds
Okay.
of stuff on the phone, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
Googling stuff up, you know, where do you go? Where can you take somebody to get help? And it kind of came around to that. we get it. We finally get Nar-Anon and we're about lost it. We took him and bought drugs, you know, because they said that he come out and said, well, they can't take me now, but they're going to take me later.
2 hours.
But in the meantime, I got to have something. So take me over. I thought it was like Maple Street or some crap in Memphis and park at the Walgreens and I'll be right back. You know, all this thing. And I'm thinking, I cannot believe we're actually buying him drugs to
You're
get
just
him in
terrified,
rehab.
though. You just don't know what else to do.
Yeah.
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 If
we
it
were
was going to get
desperate.
him in the door, which still, if you think about it, he could have OD'd on it, you know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
in our mind, it's going to get him in the door, you know, to rehab.
Yeah.
What advice would you have for a parent in that position?
That's a tough one.
It sure is. Because, you know, I'm scared to death of fentanyl.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would do that again.
I would say find a Nar-Anon group. As soon as you start thinking you got the aha moment, start looking for a Nar-Anon group then. There's one thing we found that when we went there, I went there thinking I'm going to get connections. You know, I'm going to learn all this stuff and make these connections to get him help. You know, in case his insurance and stuff goes out.
Yeah.
And to get there and they're
We'll
like,
put the work in for
no,
yourself.
this
Yeah.
is about you. This is not about, you know, your loved one. You know, this is about you. And I'm like, oh, crap. You know?
Wrong place. Yeah,
But the
we
funny
need to fix
part
him.
was when we were so desperate and we were drug out, you know, it affected our jobs, our marriage, everything. I mean, we're just wrung out. And we go there, and it was like Labor Day weekend. You know, we finally found some help, and it was shut down. We had to
Monday
wait
night,
another week.
'cause it was
Oh,
Labor
no.
Day.
Yeah, it was closed that day.
Oh,
So
my gosh.
we had to stick it out another week
Man.
to get to the first meeting.
But
But
what
it
was
was
that first meeting like?
it was kind. You want me?
For me, the subject I'll never forget
Mm-hmm.
was detaching with love.
Mm.
And I thought, what? Wait a minute. I
that
think
mean?
we're in the wrong place.
Yeah.
Because detach means to pull away. And I've always been there trying to help. So what's this mean? So it had my curiosity up. And, you know, listen to it. And it's like, okay. And then when people were so welcoming, they are our adoptive family. We just adore all of our Nar-Anon group. Love them to death. I grabbed up everything they had on the table. I couldn't get enough to read. And that was my first experience.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Just listening to them share and stuff is a really good thing. And the funny part about it is, you know, when people are sharing and stuff, it's like they were talking about our son. I mean, like they're all reading out of the same playbook. You know, the things they do and the way they talk and communicate to you. You know, whether they're getting their way or not getting their way. But it was like, you know, all these different people, but they're all have pretty much the same type of stories. When you think you got a aha, like trading war stories or something, it's like, no, gotcha.
Yeah.
You know, but it was fun, and it was fun too because nobody tells you what you need to do. You know, that's left up to you, what you need to do. They can offer advice and speak for themselves. You know, this is what I did, but nobody's there saying, you know, I would not do that to my son or my daughter, and you know, you do this, but you never do that. It wasn't really like that.
Yeah.
And I like that about it. You take what you can use and leave the rest behind, is what they say. And that makes sense to me because I don't really like people preaching to me, you know, and telling me what to do. I like to cipher it out for myself and
Yeah.
decide what I'm going to do. And if it don't work, then it don't
Yeah.
work. I won't do it again.
Chris, you mentioned about the idea of detach with love seemed kind of just foreign. Like, how do you do this? What do you think about it now? What does that mean to you now?
Oh, it's a lifesaver.
Yeah.
It's a lifesaver. I used to watch Dr. Phil, and he said something one day that stuck with me, is you're only as happy as your saddest child.
Mm.
And it was so true. If anything is going on in my kids' lives, I felt like I couldn't be happy unless they were doing well. I was last, you know. So yeah, to detach, it's like, what? You know, it was foreign to me. To me, that's when you dig in and help.
Mm-hmm.
But in going to Nar-Anon, that's when I learned it's not help. You know, it's enabling. I learned so much about myself. I mean, I got a sponsor. I went through the step work.
Did a part of you not? Because I know some people will go and they'll listen to some stories and then kind of leave it at that. What was it in you that was like, okay, I need to do the sponsor. I need to do this. Like, what gave you that motivation, or what was your, thoughts on that?
The others that were in the group and seeing the peace, that they had with their life when, their kid is, they don't know where he is.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And we could get together and laugh like crazy and cut up. And, it's like, I want that.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be happy again, I've always been, I thought I was a helper as a parent, I had his whole life planned out for him,
Mm-hmm.
You need to go to college. I think you need to do this because you would be really good at it and you'll make all kinds of money. And then after that, you can do this and this, and,
Come home and take care of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's literally me talking to my 16-year-old. You just like repeated our dinner conversation.
and gosh,
last night.
where I'm at now is all I want is for you to be happy. That's all I want. It doesn't matter how much you make. It doesn't matter what your job is. I just want you to be happy. That's all I want. I was so controlling, and I am a controlling person by nature anyway.
You already took his water bottle.
Okay. I knew it was driving you crazy. But I am
I've got to
controlling.
be supervised at all times.
But yeah, I don't even
cute.
know where I was at, but yeah.
Controlling.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm very controlling. So it's been a journey for me as well.
Yeah. You talking about, seeing the other parents and like the peace they had and all of that just goes to show like how important it is to show up, because those women, they could be, at peace no matter what's going on out there and stuff, but they could not show up. And then who would you have to look at of like, I want that. You know what I mean? So like always keep showing up so you can help that newcomer,
Right.
It's so important.
It is very important. And the group is just, they truly are amazing
Yeah.
people. I mean, and we're from all different, walks of life and would have probably never crossed paths, and I've told Nick out of his addiction, that's the only thing I'm grateful for that I could think of right off the top of my head is the group of people that put us in contact with, because they've been lifesavers for us. Yeah, real lifesavers.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Bob, did you make any friends?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They're all my friends. Yeah. Yep. They're great people. And you see them go through all their stuff, too. I mean, from the very worst outcomes, the worst, to the very best.
Yeah.
And everything in between. And there's no rhyme or reason to addiction. It just goes.
Do you mind if I ask about because you have your own personal journey with it, and then I believe didn't Nick say y'all met and got married like right after high school? So I'm assuming you went through that with him as well the whole way through.
Yep,
Can you talk a
43
little bit
years.
about that, about your journey with that
Yeah.
and how you got out of it?
Yeah, it was just I grew up not really a conventional child's life, and so I like all my idols and stuff. They were all alcoholics and stuff, but all hardworking men. My dad didn't stick around, but he was an alcoholic, and so I did kind of adopt dads along the way, and they all drank. So I just started drinking at a young age, drinking, smoking cigarettes, toting guns around. You know, I was got like a feral cat or something. You know, just my mom. She didn't know what to do with a boy. My mom had me and them 4 sisters. You know,
Oh,
she knew
wow.
what to do with the girls, and I was always out in the woods or something. You know, so yeah, I started drinking at a young age and smoking pot and all that stuff, and then I decided when I met her, she left for Canada on a family vacation. While she was gone, they were kicking them Americans around on the Iranian steps
1980.
in Iran. You know, and I was about half lit with a pizza watching on the news. I thought, hell no, I'm going. You know, so I go and join the army while she's gone.
Nice.
She comes back.
Yeah.
What'd you do while I was gone, honey? I joined the army.
Yeah.
I'm going in the infantry.
And we
here,
didn't have cell
6
phones or
months.
anything back then. So
Yeah.
for 2 weeks, I did not know
Oh, my
until I got home.
goodness.
Oh my
You know,
goodness.
it was long distance to call. So yeah, no contact.
So yeah.
Wow.
So when I went in the army, then you can't smoke pot, you know, because they drug
Yeah, they
test
don't like
you and
that, yeah.
everything.
Mhm.
But they're really big on drinking,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So there we go. We're all just drinking the whole time I'm in the army. I got pictures of my Jeep in Germany loaded down with German beer. So I drank through the army and everything. I've drank most of my life. And then as things got going, but I was always like a functional alcoholic, I guess you'd say, because I always did well. Always hard worker,
Worked his
always
tail
worked,
off.
made decent money, and did pretty well. And then my mom and my stepdad, he was kind of like a dad to me. They both come down with cancer and died within like 6 months of each other.
Oh man.
And I had just built us a new house and had a business going and just all this, the regular stress. And then that happened and something just clicked and I really started drinking. And I got in trouble, drinking, driving, crashed my truck, left the scene in my truck. Didn't even know, but I clipped a car. To this day, I don't remember doing that. Thank God I didn't kill nobody. I got through that. I was thinking I needed quit drinking so much, you know, and tried that for a while. It didn't work. Went through all the court stuff. Still couldn't quit drinking. And it took me a while to find out I was addicted, you know, until I really tried to stop doing it. I was like, oh, crap, you know, I'm feeling bad. I got the shakes and stuff, you know, and like I need this to just settle down. So from the time I was going to stop drinking till I actually stopped, it took me like 2 years to actually quit. You know, I would try rehab or I would go to I've been to doctors for stress, depression, some kind of choices thing. They stuck me in a choices program where I could leave to go to work and come back. And I screwed that up because I also had medications from a doctor, prescription, but I put them in my watch pocket. So I'd have them because I'd have to stay in there for the weekend. Sure enough, they found them in my watch pocket. So then they kicked me over to the jail side to a place called Choices. And it was pretty good, but it was like jail. You know, it was jail. Like, oh, shit, you know, here we go. But turned out I had buddies in there. Went through all that, got out, still on probation, trying to get through it all. And we split up for a while. Things were getting bad, selling our house and stuff. And we was going to do like a, it's like a bankruptcy wage earner. But then they started going through all the stuff and telling me how much I'd have to make a month to pay in the wage earner. I'm like, the hell with that. We just do the bankruptcy thing, because I'm already working myself to death. And to do a wage earner, I'm going to have to continue to work myself to death to come up with the note to pay the wage earner. So file bankruptcy. All of our stuff we work for is gone.
Because of alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I just like copped an attitude when my parents died. It was just like too much. And we had a lot of debt. And it was just overwhelming. That was my way of coping with the work, go, go, go. It was, I would drink and I would do they had these little pills, you get them out of the magazines and stuff, ephedrine or ephedrine.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
The little white pills, and I would eat them nonstop to work more because I could work a union job during the day and then in the evenings and weekends work other jobs, so I'm like speeding, working my butt off.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, you drink to counteract the speeding,
Yeah.
and it was pretty bad, but it was a way of life. I mean, not at the time I didn't feel it was bad, but it was bad.
Yeah, we call those performance-enhancing drugs, man. That's what it is. Like
It did, yeah. We would frame houses in the snow with snow on the ground.
Get it done.
We'd be in a T-shirt and steam rolling off, me and my buddy. Steam would be rolling off of us when we take a break, and everybody else like, what the heck? There was some guy from Alaska who said, man, you all got to give me what you're doing because I can't keep up with you, you know? But it panned out good. We were making the money,
Yeah. Until it doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we were split up, and one time I was living in a little trailer in Festus. It was like on a Friday, and I woke up Sunday morning on the couch in the living room because I never really made it like a home. I just didn't even like it. I hated being there. But I woke up on a Sunday morning and opened my eyes, and I just felt dried out. I kind of got up off the couch. I'm thinking, what the heck? And I was dehydrated because my teeth, I could pull my lip out and feel the outline of my teeth on my lips. Thinking, crap. Went to the kitchen and there's all these vodka bottles and pill bottles. I'm thinking, man, what the heck? And it's Sunday. And it's going to sound weird. I don't tell everybody this, but I went out and I was sitting on the step. And it was like, I don't know if it's an hallucination or what. Some people call it like a spiritual awakening or something like that. But I was looking at the concrete, and I could swear I could hear ants walking. I'm like, what the heck? And I could hear them gnawing on stuff, and I looked up the trees, and like I could see all the leaves and stuff, and it was like I got this feeling, and it said, you need to either quit doing what you're doing or disappear. And by disappearing, it wasn't like commit suicide.
Right.
It's like get out of Dodge. Like you're hurting everybody. You're just like a burden to everybody. You got to get away from everybody that you love so that you're not making them feel bad, or you need to get better. And I was like, crap, I need to get better. And I called her up, told her about it, and I checked into rehab. What was the name of it?
I don't think it was
Cum tree.
Yeah, it might have been.
Yeah. So I checked into there, and I did the 12 steps before a couple of times to kind of just whip through it, how you do, and kind of know what the answer is. But I think every time the prior times I went through it, maybe one or two things might have stuck with me. So this time when I did the 12 steps, I mean, I was all in. I'm writing pages of stuff, going down through it and talking to this addiction counselor and stuff. And got through all that 12 steps, and it was pretty good. And then after that, I kind of stuck it out. We'd get the urges sometimes, but kind of found my way through all that crap. And it was pretty good. Probably the first couple years were the toughest, not to drink. Because you got to learn how to deal with the stresses without the drink. It's easy to have, a couple drinks when you're feeling the pressure, you know, and kind of loosen up a little bit.
Yeah.
But you just don't have that when I pretty much had my whole life I drank,
Mm-hmm.
you know, as far as I can remember. It was kind of the way I was brought up that if you work hard, you work hard and your bills are paid, that's your reward. You deserve to drink.
Yeah.
And I was raised like that,
Yeah.
you know, and I believe that's the way it was. I was told that by many old timers, you know,
Yeah.
that's the way it works. So it was a new thing for me because that's the way I was raised. That's what I learned. So it's like uncharted territory, you know, just like being a dad. I never had a dad. So it's like I kind of fumbled my way through being a dad. Now I'm a grandpa fumbling through that, you know. So I'm just
Good
fumbling my way through life.
That's pretty powerful. Are you a Christian?
I believe in God.
That's such like when you're telling that story and you say you don't talk about this part a lot or this sounds weird. I think that's the most beautiful part of your whole story.
Yeah. It's something I like to keep to myself because I don't know that a lot of people believe that
They don't
or
have to.
can
Oh, yeah, they
really
do.
feel it, but I can feel it now because I get like a tingling
Mm-hmm.
on my neck. It was real to me that day.
It was real.
And I thought it was like some kind of superpower or something, you know, because how they say, you know, the big part of your brain you don't never use and
Yeah.
everything, you know. So to me,
you
I
would think it was your own
sometimes-
superpower. I
Yeah,
swear.
I think that's almost like a God part of your brain. Is why we don't use it because, you know,
Yeah.
that's God's part of your brain.
Hmm.
Kind of like addiction, you know, it's wakes up a part of your brain and takes over.
Mm.
You know, addiction's a spooky thing. I think it is. You know, I treat it like it's like some kind of sleeping evil spirit that once you awaken that,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's like when you go to bed. I hate to ramble on.
Let's see.
It's like when you go to bed, you know, you don't lay there and do like a systems check. Okay, heart, you know, you need
Right.
to keep beating, lungs, you know, keep the air going, wake me up, you know, if you got to, you know, go pee or whatever. You know, addiction is like that part of your brain. It takes control of the rest of you.
Yeah.
Because you can do shit and your common sense is telling you, nah, that's a bad idea. But that other part of your brain's saying,
Doing it.
that's a hell of an idea.
Mm-hmm.
Go do that. Yeah, yeah. You quit drinking and your buddies are shooting pool at the bar, but you need to just go over there and shoot a game of pool. They're your buddies.
Yeah.
You know, you're not going to drink.
Yeah.
And what are you going to do? Give me a beer, rack them up, you know,
Mm-hmm.
gone again. Your brain can take control of you.
Oh yeah.
That's
that's
so
what
true. It's
addiction
like
is.
autopilot. And
Yeah.
you can't take
Nothing
it
you can
off of
do
it.
about it.
I
Nothing
didn't
you
think
can
about
do.
it like that. That's cool.
Yeah, there is nothing you can do about it. It takes control of you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it's so scary to me. Addiction is scary.
Yeah.
I hate addiction. You know, it's just so terrible. Kills, 100,000 people a year in the United States? I'm just guessing, but I know it's up there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes people do just stuff they would never, ever do.
Mm-hmm.
Like our son, on drugs, actively on drugs, is not really like our son. And you can tell by his mannerisms, the way that's not my son. You
Yeah.
know? It's a totally different person.
Did your experience with addiction help you see things through a different lens than, say, since you didn't struggle with that? Did you see certain similarities in him that you experienced yourself?
No, and I don't want this to sound bad. I really don't know how to, because I'm getting off, and the drugs, there's like a difference between the drugs and the alcohol to me. And this is just my own opinion.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the alcohol, like drinking alcohol, I always had money for alcohol, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The drugs are so expensive, you know, that just your job is not going to handle that addiction. You got to find other ways to come up with the extra money to buy the drugs.
It causes a whole different set of behaviors.
Leads them down
and
a different path.
Yeah, it's not just I go to work every day and I come home and drink.
Yeah.
No, you're out conning and manipulating all day to stay high.
Yeah, I'm not trying to glorify that alcohol's the way to go, you know, or nothing like that.
It's different.
But it's what I've seen. And I've got a lot of friends. I've got friends that died of drugs and did drugs all the way up until they died, you know. But so I didn't really have to steal or anything like that. And I'm lucky enough, I've always made a decent living. So I didn't have to go down that path of it. Although it created chaos in my life, it just ruined everything.
Mm-hmm.
But getting through it all, it was, I had sponsors and the 12 steps, 12 steps are good. I'm knocking that one bit. But even that stuff kind of scared me. Because early on, I had a sponsor. I went through a few different sponsors. I had this one guy. He was like a god to me. I mean, he's put together. You know how you get some of these sponsors, they always know the right thing to say, and oh, crap, you got me on that one kind of thing. This is the way this guy was, 20 years sober. I mean, everybody knew him. Good to go. Well, we were at these meetings, and you go outside and smoke cigarettes. I smoked cigarettes then. And go outside and smoke cigarettes, and there's this girl there, and she's like a butterfly floating around, working the crowd, talking to everybody, talking to me, talking. And she's at the thing. Well, him and her got to talking. You could tell she's really flirty. She knew how to flirt. Well, after, say, a month, all of a sudden, sponsor's gone. I'm like, what the heck? Anybody know where he's at? I mean, he done and relapsed with her after 20 years. Went through a bunch of credit cards and stuff. His wife was divorcing him. I'm like, oh, crap, that was my hero,
Man.
Yeah. And it got him again after 20 years. So that scared me.
Yeah.
And then they say, like, you need to give back and help people and stuff.
Yeah.
I thought, ain't no way in the world am I going to a bar to try to get somebody out of a bar. I'm sorry, but I'm not doing it because I didn't trust myself, that I could be like a sponsor or something. So I never did do that. But the giving back part, though, is I work construction. And so I just normally come across people all the time. So then I would just, on a break or something, somebody's hung over like a dog and about to get thrown out of his house or something. I just be careful and tell him my experience. Don't preach to him, and just share with them, over the years. And to this day, I would do the same thing and try to give them a little bit of a heads up or a nudge, but just tell them what I've been through. Yeah. And I've done that with several people.
That's
over the years.
amazing.
And I still got one of them. He's in my life. He's
like a son.
Yeah, he's like a son.
That's awesome.
Like an extra son for me. He's a good guy, good, hard, tough working guy. And
Yeah.
he's doing great.
Good.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
hearing your description of growing up, just like hanging out in the woods, in the hunting, just living kind of the country boy life, drinking, and being not encouraged to drink, but it's okay to drink. If you work, you have a 6-pack at the end of a hard work week, whatever, it makes sense. Hearing your story and your version of getting introduced to alcohol and then later on drugs was very different than the story we heard with Nick yesterday. Nick really never even talked. He didn't talk about really even experiment with anything until he was in middle of high school, and then it pretty much went abruptly. It was not the experimental spot was very short. It went very, very quickly into kind of hard using. There's one thing though that was constant in both your and his story, and that's a woman, a mom, and a wife that cared deeply for both of y'all at those different times. I want to know what you were going through whenever you were hanging on. You say he's living in a trailer. Like what was happening then, and how did you stick with him? Were you doing Al-Anon? Did you believe that he could change? Did you know what you were dealing with, or were you just kind of along for the ride?
When he was in the trailer, we had lost our house, and I was back at my mom and dad's.
And you have 2 boys.
2 boys.
And so y'all are all you and Nick and older
Nick
brother.
is with me.
Wow.
And our oldest son was with my sister.
Goodness.
And it was horrible.
Yeah.
My whole family was tore apart. And yeah, it was horrible.
You took his call though. You were still talking to him.
I loved him.
Yeah.
I did. I do.
Yeah.
It hurt me so bad to see him in such pain. You don't hate the person, you hate the disease. I've learned that with Nick, the saying. And it's so true. When you can flip that to where this is not my husband. This is the disease making him do this. It's a whole different look to it, But I loved him, and I was there for him. When he would call, sometimes I'd be like, no, I'm not coming. But I had to. I had to. And maybe that was the enabler. I don't know what it was, but I couldn't leave him alone. And thank God it worked, that he got into the treatment program. It was a 30-day treatment program, and that was when, well, no, that was the next year. But our oldest son was going in the Marines, and Bob was in treatment, and he wouldn't even go down and see his dad before he left. And but since, Bob has got out, and he's the most, and he always has been, the most loving and kind and humble person. I knew it was his mom and his stepdad that just, it was just back to back. It was tough. And it threw him over the edge. And, but yeah, he went through the 30-day program, and thank God it all worked out. We ended up back together. Because he come out, and I could see he was really trying, and yeah, our oldest son, they made their amends, and yeah, you wouldn't even know it with our kids that there was ever anything that that they held against him or anything, it's all good.
Have you had the opportunity to help some women who were in the spot you were in and kind of give your experience to them and pull them through those dark times? Have you had that chance yet?
I've not.
If you did, what would you maybe tell them, or how would you work with them?
Golly, that's a tough one, because I think it's a very individual thing. Some people did wonder why I stayed. And it was because I loved him, people, to me, it seems nowadays, are just quick to call it quits.
Aren't they?
Yeah. And it's like, oh, well, you don't like what color I painted the bathroom. Let's get a divorce, I don't know. He knows me better than anyone. I feel I know him better than anyone. And it's not that we're not fighters. We don't yell and scream. We never have. We have disagreements, and I'll be quiet because I know I need to just keep my mouth shut, because I'll say something hurtful, and I don't want to do that. Give me a day. Let me think it through. More than likely, I'm even going to come around, and it was my fault, and I'm going to admit it, and I'm going to say I'm sorry, I'm
the same way, and my husband will just want to talk in that moment.
No.
I'm like, no, you don't want
really
to right
don't
now.
want to. You really don't. Yeah, you really don't want to. But yeah, so I don't know what I would tell other women. It worked for me, but I don't know if it would for others. But for me, it was because of love.
Yeah.
How much I loved him and how much pain I knew he was in. And that was hard. Oh, it was the most difficult thing in my life to leave, to say we're separating. That was horrible.
Yeah.
Absolutely horrible, And I had tried for so long to keep it together, and yeah. And finally, I think that's what honestly almost helped was, me leaving for a little while, and where he could see and I could see that, yeah, this isn't what we want. We want to be together.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we made it work, and it's wonderful.
Started over.
Sure did.
Yeah.
Sure did.
So with Nick, when we were talking to him yesterday about his, time in jail and prison, and he was talking about the difference that you made in his life with the phone calls, and it was almost sort of like you were kind of like a stand-in beginner sponsor, it
Mm-hmm.
seemed like.
Can
Poor
I
Nick.
say?
Yeah.
Can I say Bob did not listen to the podcast yet,
Uh-huh.
so he doesn't know what Nick said. And I listened to it last night, and there were things I had heard for the first time. I never knew when he started using. It's not anything we've talked about yet,
Yeah.
you know. So Bob doesn't even know that part yet.
I hadn't heard it or seen the podcast.
He's
but I was gonna
not.
do it when I got home.
And
We've
I
been
just,
traveling.
I just told him. I said, "You're going to really like how Nick talks about you."
You
But
are.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry, I don't want to
Yeah.
I
interrupt.
was just trying to keep his morale up,
Yeah.
you know, and then the dang prison stuff. I'm a little bit pissed off with all the prison crap.
How
What
so?
they do. Well, you know, I've always been one throughout time. I got to know where the kids are at, kind of thing.
Hmm.
You know, Nick, Jacob, the grandkids, they can be doing what they want to do, but I want to have an idea where they're at. I don't know why.
Yeah.
In case I got to herd them together, I don't know. But so then, you know, Nick goes into jail and stuff, and you know, I kind of Google stuff up and check on, you know, what the rules are there, see what, you know, they can get commissary. And then I started reading about all these programs in Mississippi, and I don't want to stir up no crap, you know. But, you know, it's talking about all this good stuff that they do for them when they get close to getting out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking, good, you know, I don't have to, I'm trying to break myself from trying to figure stuff out for them. You know,
Right.
I'm learning that. I'm thinking, this
Meanwhile,
nice.
you're
Sounds
Googling
like they
all
got
the
it together
rules
down
to the
there.
prison.
Yeah.
So we know for ourselves.
Yeah, yeah. But they had all this stuff, and I'm like, man, hallelujah. You know, at least they got that, because I have a thing, you know, you don't, I don't know, it's probably some of our Nar-Anon people, some of them say you don't do nothing for them, but you can do what you want to do. You know, it's, you make your kind of your own program. And I always had it in my mind that I'm not doing nothing for him while he's using. I'm not got another story about that, but not doing nothing for while you're using. But if I can see a sign that you're doing good, I'm like all in. You know, it's on. It's go time. So I'm thinking of all the stuff the prison's got, and I'm thinking, great. You know, they're handling a lot of this stuff out. He's going to come out with the basics, you know, and stuff. Hell no. They drove him to the gate and dropped his butt off. He didn't even have an ID. And I know I read somewhere where they did all that and give you classes for getting back into the society and none of that stuff. It was like in 15 minutes, wrap your shit. He was out the front gate. And thank God we were there. And it just pissed me off that how many people just get set out at the gate. And as we're leaving, there's like a tent city down the road, a couple, 2-3 miles down the road. I'm thinking, yeah, that's where everybody goes. You know, they walk down the road and hit Tent City, and that's as far as they make it, you know. But no ID, no nothing to give them some check. You don't even got an ID to cash the dang check, you know.
Yeah.
I'm like, good grief. I mean, he had backup plans. I give that to Nick. He was figuring stuff out on his own, and what he can do in there was limited. But he was like on it, like he is now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like a dog on a bone. You know, he's wearing people out, getting answers. So he had like a sponsor that could pick him up, or a chaplain. Chaplain
For what?
to pick Nick up when he got out.
Well, we got him out.
I know, but he had other backup plans.
Oh, yes, a sponsor, I
Yeah.
think, was going to, or the priest. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, thank God, you know, somebody was there to pick him up, and then made me feel bad. 'Cause I'm thinking, what about the people that don't have nobody there?
Right.
Yeah, there's a lot of
You know,
them.
they're probably in that tent city,
Using.
but they put it online that they do all this crap.
Yeah.
You know, how does
You can put anything online, Bob. You can put anything online.
somebody's got to be sitting somewhere getting
Yeah.
a check for doing this stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like your job, got their feet up on the desk. Woo,
Yeah.
tough one
What else? That
today.
sounds good. Yeah, we'll give them classes. Yeah, put
Yeah.
that on there.
Yeah,
Classes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Put like a horse there, like equine therapy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's so misleading. So if you were in another state, you're thinking everything's taken care of when they get out.
It's not.
You know, it's not.
Yeah.
I think they need to be more transparent about
he mentioned that on top of some of the support, y'all sent a lot of books, a lot of literature. It was super helpful. But he mentioned something about the conversations that you had with him were super, super powerful. But you also tasked him with some things. He said that you had him writing a lot. He said, write it out. He said when he went in, he couldn't form his word. He could feel his sentences, like he couldn't talk as effectively as he'd like to. But he said that you had him just writing a whole lot. Where did you kind of come up with that? Get that from? Is that something that from your own recovery process, or just makes sense to you? And you just
No.
said,
Well, I've always been a scribbler. You know, I work in construction, demolition and stuff, and I run a lot of jobs. So I'm always making notes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't anymore, but it's something to keep him busy, to feel like he's got something to do. You know, like instead of just sitting in a friggin' jail cell,
Mm-hmm.
you know, trading honey buns or whatever, you know.
yeah,
Something to give him some kind of purpose
mm-hmm.
every day. Like, oh yeah, you know, I got to catch up on this or catch up on that, or reading books. He read I don't know how many books,
Mm-hmm.
and then told him, you know, well, you need some kind of like a job or something, you know. And then he didn't do it because I told him to, but you know, he's volunteering in the infirmary, you know, which a lot of people who wants to hang out with sick people, you know,
No
you don't know
kidding.
what they got, you know,
Yeah.
some kind of fungus or whatever, but. I'm just joking. I'm not being serious.
Yeah.
But
No, I would.
still, he would do that job, you know, but it's a job. You know,
Something
it's
to
a
do.
reason you got to get up in the morning and
Yeah.
go do something.
Yeah.
You know, because eventually you're going to be out of there and you're going to have to get up in the morning and go do something.
Mhm.
You know, you're not just sitting on your butt for a few years.
Yeah.
I think.
Just something to keep him busy.
Well, I think that, and the phone calls he had with you guys, and all of that. I mean, I just find it so incredible that he was able to stay sober in there.
Me too.
Yeah.
And like that says so much about not only like the effect you guys have on him, but also like his drive and his motivation to be a better person.
Well, I did hear him say, like the foggy brain for about a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
We had heard that.
Mm-hmm.
There was a speaker that would come to Memphis that did the addicted brain. I forget his name. And learned a lot through him, and that it could be at least a year,
Mm-hmm.
Still
And-
waiting on mine.
Yeah. So, Bob would say, I don't know. He might be using. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
And then I think, no, he says he's not. Hopefully he's not. I think, it's just foggy headed. Because some of the things he'd say would be like, what? I mean, I wouldn't say that to him,
Right.
but it's like, that doesn't even make sense,
Mhm.
but yeah. And it just, it went on, and then slowly, it was like a butterfly,
Mm.
coming out that, our son was coming back around.
Yeah. You can
You
tell
know?
over time.
You could tell. Yeah. Like he's not using, I mean, for the first while, I questioned it too. Well, I would have normally anyway,
Yeah.
because you're not going to believe someone who's,
Yeah. We done heard everything.
Yeah.
We know
Yeah.
Nick,
Yeah.
he got us here,
That's right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He's a manipulator.
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, so
That is the worst place to get clean.
yeah. And to do it there is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, 'cause I was telling him, you're going to be around all this crap when you get out anyway. Everywhere you go, it's everywhere.
It is everywhere.
It's just like with me with drinking, I would get gas and get a 12-pack,
Mm-hmm.
So then I'd get gas and I'd have to go in there past the coolers and then get out of there.
Gas
you know?
station's the worst place nowadays. It's
Yeah.
the worst.
It
All the stuff
really
they
is.
Well, you can even
selling
get
in
the
there.
drugs
Vapes
there
and
too.
stuff.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
all kinds
It's
of stuff.
just, man, it's a big pet peeve of mine is things are getting out of hand. And it's
Mhm.
sad because it's good people. People with addictions or addictive people, I find out, are the most talented people.
They
Mm.
seem to be.
It could be in anything. It could be a mechanic, but he's a hell of a mechanic. Or,
Mm-hmm.
my dad was a drank his whole life till he died. But I would run, and being in construction, I'd come across people that worked with him, and he was the best drywall hanger they'd ever seen.
But was an
You know?
asshole at home.
Oh, yeah.
Seriously,
He was an
asshole.
outlaw. I mean, he was
He was
just
mean.
bad to the bone, you know.
Mhm.
Yep.
I believe it.
But addicted people have talent that whatever they're good at, they're going to be very good at.
Mm-hmm.
You know, which is, I don't know if there's like a connection there or something. You know, some people get addicted and some don't. But I don't know. That's something for.
I know when we move all in, we go all in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when we get out, we grab a hold of it. We don't turn it loose.
Yeah, that's the way I am. I'm
Yeah.
in. Yeah,
Yeah.
if I like it, it's on.
Yeah.
Well, the guy that did the Addictive Brain seminar explained it like if, say, I went to the dentist and had a tooth pulled, and the dentist gave me whatever they give you that will make it not hurt. I don't know. Is it a Percocet? I don't know what drug it would be. Just something where I wouldn't hurt. For me, I would take it maybe one of them, and I wouldn't like the way it made me feel.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd be like, nah, I'm not taking any more of that. I'll just use Tylenol or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Where someone that has an addictive brain goes and they take that one, it's like, where have you been all my life?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That really opened my eyes. It's like, wow, it really affects someone else so much differently than me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that they love that feeling and I hate it.
Yeah.
You know,
Isn't that weird?
it really was. Yeah. Yeah. That was
Yeah, people have
interesting.
like 2 drinks and like, I don't feel so good. It's like, that's when I want to start driving.
Right?
Like, that's- I want to give me the keys.
Yeah, I'm
that's- I wanna
designated driver.
explore now. Yeah. I think I need to go to sleep. No, we need to keep going.
We're going to
This is it.
Vegas.
Yeah. Got my great ideas happen. Very different. Very different. It is. Well, y'all have got, y'all get the, and I don't want to say the happy ending because the story's not over, but y'all
Right.
get this
Yeah.
happy chapter. And not every parent does get to have that. In fact, Brynn and I just went to, and we interviewed Kim and Richard Johnson last weekend. They lost a daughter to a fentanyl poisoning.
Yes.
You know, she was taking something that she didn't know it had fentanyl on it. And we went to the fentanyl awareness walk, which is a national thing, but they brought it here, so that we had it in Flowood.
Mm-hmm.
And it was good to be with people that all were like-minded in this. We wanted to bring fentanyl awareness and kind of share that. But it was also incredibly sad because you're around all these people that lost kids and
Yes.
family members, and these stories didn't get to play out. And you're seeing, kids that are just went to college and they died their first year, or kids who didn't even make it, or even sometimes there were stories of babies getting changed on dressing room whatevers that had fentanyl. And anyways, y'all's story, y'all get to experience some joy and
We
some
do.
peace, and you just got done hanging out with him at this amazing place that he's the executive director of. You get to see it. The kudos to y'all for hanging in there, and also thank God for the opportunity to get to have this.
Yeah,
I mean, 'cause
we are
it's-
so
Absolutely.
grateful.
We
and it's
are.
not of us. I mean, it's God. It's something else. It's
Yeah.
it's not.
Oh,
we're just great people.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's what he's
Absolutely.
done
Yeah.
himself. I give him kudos. It's like, there you go, Nick.
He
You
is
know?
remarkable. He really
He-
is. He was. Yeah. And
Yeah.
talking about his story, I was like, I didn't really try that hard. I mean, he's like making calls and making a point. And he found Fondren recovery homes on his own. Like he was making moves
know.
like 6 months before he left.
I know.
I mean, he's very, very assertive, was getting
Yes.
things done.
Yes.
I mean, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
instead of just coming out and saying, here I am.
Well,
He had a plan.
Yeah.
He was,
I don't know how he did it.
yeah.
I really
And
don't.
It just,
There was something though I kind of noticed similar in both y'all's stories when you're talking about sitting there and you heard the trees whisper, the ants or whatever, but you had that moment you're like, I'm ready.
it's a feeling.
Nick mentioned that same kind of moment where he had like this pile of cell phones on him,
Yep.
and he was like, he was going away, and he knew it, and he was like,
Yep.
I've got to do something. And I think from that point on, it might not have been like rapid success,
Right.
but his heart was in it. He
Right.
was, and it's not like you were the same way. It's like, I got to go. I
Yeah,
got
it
to
was-
do something different.
Yeah, it was like either or. And it wasn't like pushing me one way or the other. It was just like a decision. Okay, make a decision.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I don't know if I'd like move away to California or something, but you need to just get out, quit hurting people that love you, that are, upset with you. Or you just need to quit drinking
Mm-hmm.
and get everybody that loves you back,
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I'm going back,
Well, that's what I used to say in Nar-Anon in the beginning is how can you expect someone on drugs to go into recovery on their own? That's where they need me. They
Mhm.
need me pushing them in there.
Mhm.
Because how How are
Right.
they ever going to come to that point? They're out of their mind.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're run by drugs. And the answer to me is it's a God thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's God coming into your life and saying, all right, now, you know, enough's
It's
enough.
time.
Yeah, it's time now.
Yep.
Yeah, follow me.
It's
you
like,
know?
I got 99 other sheep waiting for me over here. I'm trying to find this lost sheep.
Mhm.
Come on.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
Get your butt in the car and let's go.
Yeah.
You know? And the same with prison. Is that where you want your child? Never. You
Mm.
never dream your child's going to end up in prison.
Mm-hmm.
One of mine might. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
You never know.
Still
but,
early.
yeah. But the fact that at that time it was like, okay, I'm kind of digging this because now we know where he's at. We know he's safe, sort of,
Ish. Yeah.
but we know where he is. And I tell him, I think God put him there. You know, we don't always know why, but I think to save his life.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't tell Nick in the beginning, all right, you're going to be in there 4.5 years. Because, you know, if you've got an elephant to eat, you know, and you're seeing this big elephant, you're like, where do I even start?
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, if you think you're only going to be there 10 months, it's like, okay, I think I can be sober for 10 months. I'm going to try this, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Bite-sized pieces.
Yeah. You know, and then, okay, well, no, you got to stay one more year, you know? So it was in increments that I think he could handle instead of just being slapped a sentence, you know, that was like, oh, F it, you
Yeah.
know, give me something.
It's interesting you say that. So I went to penitentiary twice. The second time I went back, though, I had 2 8-year sentences. And when I got sentenced, I thought I was going to have to do them back to back, which means do an 8-year sentence, then do
Yeah.
a second 8-year
Concurrent
sentence.
or
Yeah, consecutive.
Yeah.
Like do 'em
Yeah,
not-
yeah.
And I went in there and I went balls to the wall. I mean, I joined a gang. I start shooting dope. I start doing
Yeah.
everything because it was like I was we call throw it away. It was going to be a wrap.
It's on.
And then like 2 years into it, they were like, "Yeah, you get parole if you could ever start acting right." And I'm like, "What?" Like I didn't know that was an option. And they're like,
Wait,
"Oh
what?"
yeah, everybody, yeah." And so now I spent 1.5 years trying to, you know, get with it, but I couldn't really get with it because I was so
Yeah.
deep in that way of life. But it was what you're talking about. When you think, okay, I'm going to be in here for 10 years, I hate to say it, you really don't have a whole lot to live for. I mean, it's like
Exactly.
you were
It's the
thrown away.
truth.
It's a wrap.
It's
a
the
wrap.
truth.
So I totally see where you're coming from. Like him not knowing, kind of like dangling it out a
Yes.
little bit. Like it kept
Yeah.
kept him moving. Like, come on, you
Yeah,
get it.
yeah,
A little
yeah.
carrot, yeah.
And that's God. That's all God said. But it was
Absolutely.
also God working in me because it was the day before I'm about to get out. I know I'm like depressed. I'm scared. I'm crying. I'm like, what is going on? I'm fixing to get out. And I knew I was coming right back. And I was like, what is this about? What's going on here? And it was like, I don't know how to be a citizen sober.
Yeah.
Like I can't do it. And that's when I said the most honest prayer. I was like, God help me. I'm screwed. I'm getting out. I'm scared to death to get out. And that was a weird feeling.
Yeah.
Be like, why am I so freaking out about leaving?
You're right.
Because I had no skills. I
Right.
couldn't do it. And I said, God help me. And he did.
Yeah.
He did. He opened doors. It's kind of the same thing. I had family waiting at the gate to me and for me, and they spun me around to an AA meeting and they helped me get
Yep.
enough to get going.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
that
what I
was it.
thought. Yeah, just the basics. You
Yeah.
know, don't want to overdo it. You
Yeah.
know, set him up in the Taj Mahal, but you need the basics. You know,
Mhm.
nowadays you need a phone, you need some wheels. You know, to get
Yeah.
back and forth to see your PO.
Yeah.
You know, just the very basic. And it wasn't the new phone or nothing. It was my old work phone that I got it new cover put on it.
Yeah, the
and
Taliban Nokia.
Just enough. Yeah, yeah.
Flip phone.
Yeah, the bare
Got
necessities.
terrorists
The big
walking around.
thick
No,
one.
he just got out of prison. He's got his dad's old phone. Not a terrorist.
But he was the same way. It was like he was thrown for a loop. Like all of
Yeah.
a sudden he's out, you know, and it overwhelmed him. You know, we're getting him like necessities and stuff. He told me later on, he said, thank God for mom. Because she's a go-getter. We go to Walmart to get him the stuff, and he's just overwhelmed with
He
stuff.
couldn't make decisions.
Yeah, and you
It's
could
still
see it in his
hard for
face.
him.
He's like, oh, crap. But mom pulled him through. He's like, get this,
You
this,
need this, and this. You got to
this is your
claim with.
size.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a few weeks after I come down. I think I helped him get his truck or something.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, "Thank God for mom." But he, even like driving and stuff, he was leery of just everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the people and
Going in a store.
yeah. But he's so much better now. He's just happy-go-lucky and back like he used to be. It's a joy to see him in his element.
It is.
It's almost like like another God thing or something, putting him where he is now, because that's the way he's always been.
Yeah.
The helpful person. You know, he tried the, like the real estate and the money, and
Mm-hmm.
the bougie
Bigger,
stuff.
better.
And yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, he went that way, and I don't think that was for him.
Hmm.
He seems to be very, very happy.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
have, it's a special calling to be able to do what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
One that I don't have, one that I don't think a lot of people have. And so
Yeah.
I firmly believe he's exactly where God wanted him
I do
to
too.
be.
Mhm.
I
You
do
know?
too.
And what a cool thing to see as a parent.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know?
Very proud.
So I'm excited for y'all to move down here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're pretty busy. Yep, she just retired
I did.
3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank
All right, what's next?
And we've
Well,
been-
we just got back from Florida. We were there for 2 weeks.
Okay.
So, yeah, getting ready to go home and write out a few bills and see where we go from there, I suppose.
Y'all be catching a Nar-Anon meeting soon?
We haven't been going as much as we
Okay.
used to.
Yeah.
But we try to get together with them. I went to I think we're considered the Eastern region. We went to Kentucky
Okay.
for a weekend seminar thing.
Cool.
And yeah, I mean, we talk, we message every day. I pulled back a bit, and that was me. You know, Nick was in prison. I'm like, I felt kind of like it was the same thing over and over and over. We weren't getting new people. I've heard the story so many times. They've heard me say my things so many times. I needed a break.
Yeah.
But use it daily. It was, it's a tool, it is a tool that I use in every aspect of my life.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't just with Nick.
Yeah.
It was with work when I worked, you know, people I work with or clients or whatever. Yeah. Really taught me a lot for sure about
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
Ways that I thought I was good that I wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you get a chance, or if you get that sort of fire back that makes you want to get back in those rooms, you should,
Oh, absolutely.
because you just never know what Chris is going to be coming into the room.
You're
that
right.
needs to see,
You're right. And they
you
tell
know?
me that. They do.
You're like, I get it. I'm going.
I know. I know, Brynn.
No, I did that. I did the same thing with AA, so I get it. I get
Yeah.
it. But
Yeah.
I'm back into it now, and it's just such a life changer.
Yeah.
So I love you guys.
Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah.
I'm like so glad y'all came today.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
and I really hope that that you get to continue to experience that peace that you get to feel now. And I don't know, I'm just really grateful you guys came on here. Not a lot of people would have said yes, but here you are, and I could just see how proud you are
Absolutely.
of him. And
And we were proud even in his addiction, honestly.
Yeah.
You know, still always proud of him and still always loved him
yeah.
more than anything. Maybe didn't want to be around him,
Mm-hmm.
but still loved him from afar,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's impressive. Even when he's doing wrong, he's impressive.
Yeah, some of it did sound impressive.
Hallelujah, he's doing right.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yes.
Well, thank you guys so much. And
Thank
y'all
you.
come back anytime, and we'll keep an eye on Nick. He'll keep an eye on us. We're going to work together on
Good.
some projects. It's
Good.
super fun to have them in our ecosystem.
Good.
So thank y'all
Nice.
for,
That is great.
the whole thing.
Thank you.
That's amazing.